bondage, whips, chains, domination. It seems more and more people are trying it, thanks to the book 50 Shades of Grey. But my guests, Emily and Lori, are turning 50 Shades of Red over their sister Kim's behavior. They say when their older sister lost 150 pounds, she lost her mind. They say she turned into a different person by joining a sex group that's into S&M. Now, Lori and Emily say it's time for a sister intervention because they are so worried, not because of her and just what she's doing, but because she has a 9-year-old daughter, and that this daughter is being taken around this kinky fetish group. Kim says not true. Take a look.
I have 2 sisters. Kim is the oldest. My middle sister is Lori. I'm the youngest of the bunch. Kim was my idol. She was my best friend, the one I looked up to the most. Kim loved just being a mom, being a wife, having a family. But then about a year and a half ago, she had gastric bypass surgery and she lost well over 100 pounds. And she changed into a whole different person that I don't even recognize anymore. Kim filed for divorce and joined a group for parents that are going through a divorce.
I found out that this is not a divorce group that Kim's in. It is a sex group.
This group, from what I have learned about it, it is about people that have sexual fetishes, and they basically perform those fetishes on each other. They whip each other, spank each other, sometimes with paddles, just very aggressive moves that leave markings on your body and could really hurt you.
Kim's priorities right now, I think, are herself first, the sex group, and then her daughter.
Kim started referring to these group members as her family. She said she doesn't need her blood family anymore, that she's found people that accept her for who she is and what she is. I think Kim thinks that she's doing nothing wrong. She thinks she's a perfectly normal, everyday, average mother. I still love Kim very, very much because she's my sister, but I truly hate and fear and despise the person that Kim is today. I just wish that the 3 of us, meaning Kim, Lori, and myself, that we could just go out and be sisters. Doing this interview, going through some of the pictures of all of us when we were together, I just wanted to jump into the photograph and go back to that time. I miss it.
But Kim says when she lost weight, she newfound confidence. She says she is the happiest that she has ever been. And she wants to know why her sisters are judging her and not supporting her. Take a look.
Life before gastric bypass surgery was unhealthy, tiring. It was dark, not about me at all. Now my life is awesome, other than the drama with my sisters, especially with Emily. Emily does think everything I'm about is sexual, and that is all I care about in my life, and that is far, far, far from the truth. The group I am in is not a sex group. The group is a support group because it's a place for me to go where I'm free, where I'm just me. I didn't tell my family because I didn't need them to know about that. It wasn't because I was ashamed, but because I was in this journey of trying to find my own niche in the world and trying to do something for myself. I don't look at myself as being part of a group. It's my friends. We gather. It's really no different than a church group gathering to have a picnic. Now that I'm so happy, I have no support from my sisters. With Emily, I feel that because we were so close and did everything together, maybe she felt I was pushing her out of my life. With Lori, I find it most annoying because Lori had gastric bypass surgery the year before I did. She knows what it's like to learn about yourself, to put yourself out there, and it makes me angry that she's not supportive of that. I'm not willing to quit the group. I'm not willing to give up anybody that's in my life. I'm not willing to make any changes in my life to have a relationship with my sisters.
Okay, now, let me ask you two. You think she's just gone over the high side?
Yes.
Just gone crazy?
Yes.
And you've tried to talk to her about this before. You've tried to intervene.
Yes.
a few times, right? Mm-hmm. She says that whenever these things happen and they've tried to intervene, which you threaten her. You threaten that you're going to keep your daughter away from her, that you threaten you're going to spread rumors about her, that you're going to say that she's involved with all these terrible people and terrible things.
I would say that that's completely opposite. I have threatened to not allow my daughter around her, but I have not threatened to spread rumors. If anything, I've been the one against any talking behind people's backs and
Okay,
things like that.
somebody's lying. Okay, this drives me crazy. You guys are here for what? Tell me why we're all here today.
I'm here for my niece. I don't care what Kim does behind closed doors. That's her business. What I care about is how it's affecting my niece and the things that she says. If it wasn't for my niece, I doubt we'd even talk, to be honest.
All right, so you're here out of concern for the child?
Correct.
Well, let me put my hand up on that because I always look to see what's going on with children, and it seems like this is pretty... At this level, I don't know about her. We'll talk about that in a minute. Why are you here?
Mainly because of the things that her daughter has told me. She has told me that laying out on the couch in the living room, she could hear my sister having sex and that she's had to put her head into the couch cushion to drown out the noises.
Well, that's a lot more fabricated than the first time I heard that.
It's exactly what
The
I told you.
first time I was told that she said she heard noises coming from the room, that was a lot more detail to that one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the implication? You're saying she's making the story up?
It's definitely been added to since I've heard it the last 150 times.
I asked your daughter what she thought they were doing in there, and she looked at me and said, Emmy, you know what they're doing. And I said, how do you know? Because I can hear it, and the door is locked, and I can't get in.
My door's never been locked, my daughter.
I have text messages proving that you do lock it from you.
My door was locked when we were getting dressed in the morning, that was it. My door has never been locked. I don't even lock my front door.
So your door has been locked, but it's when you're changing clothes
Correct.
or whatever.
Correct. When we were
Okay.
changing, my door has never been locked to my daughter's never been locked out.
Okay. They're concerned that you're involved in this, to use their term, kinky sex group, fetish group, whatever it's called, the group, and that you thought it was a divorce support group.
Correct, because that's what she was telling everybody that she was in.
But it's not a divorce support group.
No, and I never came across it that way. When I explained where I was going, I said I was going to group. That's how I refer it. It is a support group for me. I have made connections within the group of friends that have been going through a lot of the same things I have been going, including being divorced, being a single mom.
Including married people who are still currently married.
Okay, is this a fetish group?
Everything that I do is with one person. It is private.
How does it get on the internet? That's not private.
I have posted
Of your private areas beaten and bruised.
Okay, is this a fetish group?
Sure, there's people into it with fetishes. It can be known as a fetish group, sure.
Well, I'm not
Yes.
judging it. I'm
Yes.
just asking. I mean, if there's nothing wrong with it,
Yep. We do discuss fetishes, yes.
you do more than discuss them.
I do not know.
You don't.
No.
Okay.
What about all
'cause-
those pictures on the website?
Those were not done. That's the misconception that my family has. My family thinks...
Well, let's clear it up.
Okay, they think that I'm going to group, and at group, all this is done in public, all this is done in front of group and everything else. It is not. I have a few friends within the group that I do a few things with. Everything that I do is with one person. It is private. I do not
I don't
participate
care what
in
you
group
do.
events.
How does it get on the internet? That's not private.
I do have a personal profile in which I have posted a few pictures.
A few?
A few.
Because I have like 58 of them on my computer at home. Of your private areas beaten and bruised. Saying this is what happens when you text and drive.
Yep. There was one of my backside, correct. And you're-
According to your sisters, and I'll just tell you,
Yep.
because this is what concerns me, and then I want to talk about what you say about this. They say that you're involved in threesomes with your boyfriend who stays there,
Absolutely not.
and that your daughter is there.
My daughter is there. My boyfriend has
and
stayed
if
there.
threesomes are going on with people from this group and your daughter's there, then I would be concerned about that.
I
They
would be
say
too.
that they have seen you after these meetings where you just talk about fetishes. You say, but that you've been covered with hickeys after a group meeting.
No.
I've seen you covered in hickeys coming into
Not
work.
from a group
We
meeting.
had a conversation about that not that long ago because you were like, everybody thinks I'm a slut, and I told you walking around with all the hickeys on your neck, I said you look like one, and you said, yeah, I know.
They say
I can have
that
hickeys.
there are orgies at group meetings and at home while you were living with your husband, but he wasn't involved in them.
Absolutely not. Group meetings are held at a public place. It is conversation. There's nothing like that that could legally go on, first of all. There's never any event or anything that I've ever participated with in my home. It's never been brought to my home.
They say that you're having sex with 5 or 6 group members, that the group sex with random people from the website, it's unprotected, that you're posting photos of your bruised private parts, and that you're involved in needling or threading where part of the sexual interaction is to penetrate your skin with needles and pull thread through.
None of this is sexual with anybody else but my boyfriend. I have never had sex like that, and I never would.
Stacey
I'm monogamous
wasn't even in
with...
the picture when those pictures were
Correct.
posted.
But I've never had
somebody
group
else
sex.
Are
said
you
those to
telling me you've seen pictures of her with this needle?
Correct.
Yes.
It was a purple corset that was across her chest
And
and,
it
on
wasn't
her
a needle,
back.
it was a staple.
You've been stapled?
Correct, with medical staples. It was a ribbon that was put in corset style and attached with medical staples.
That you've been tied up in ropes, wrapped up in ropes?
I've had ropes and knots on my arms. I don't like being completely restrained, so I've never been completely tied up.
And wax dripping, and
I've yet
that
to do that.
scratching you until you bleed.
I have. I've been scratched.
If people scratch you
With
until you bleed.
a needle.
And then whipping.
No, I hate whips.
But paddles?
Yes,
You're okay with paddles but not whips?
to some degree, but not to the degree that most people do. No. And
Okay.
again, that's not a group setting thing for me. It's
Okay,
very
but
private.
you saw pictures on where she had been apparently punished, spanked.
Correct.
So, and listen, I'm not judging this. I'm just wanting to clarify it.
That's absolutely fine.
And you say you're very dominant in your life, and so you enjoy playing submissive.
I do.
Is there a couple's house that you go to and play a submissive?
I don't go to a couple's house and play anything. Do I do their dishes for them? Enroll, yes. That sort of thing.
What do you mean enroll?
If you want to talk submissive, that's as far as it goes for me. They're referring to that because on our profile you pick a category or whatever that you fall into. That's where I fall into. I'm not dominant. I'm not any of the other way out there categories that I don't get into. So that's what I choose. I don't do a
So you
whole
go
lot.
over and do their dishes and
I go over there and have barbecues. I go over there and have fun. Occasionally I'll do their dishes. I'll make a pot of coffee, that sort of thing.
but you say enroll.
If you want to talk submissive, yes, they're referring to that because on my profile it does say that I sub for somebody. Yes,
Okay.
that would be them.
Your concern is that many of these things that we've just talked about, some of which she agrees with, some of which she characterizes differently, are going on in the presence of and around her daughter.
That's correct.
I don't understand why she's so concerned about her niece. She's never really been active in her niece's life before. I mean, I'm glad that she does take a part
I'm
in
not
it,
allowed to
but-
be around her without supervision.
Which is what you've told me because she took her on a horse without a helmet because you sent one with that was way too small for her head.
We just literally walked around with
Yeah.
my niece on the horse. And since then, that's been her only thing. I'm too dangerous to be around without her being supervised.
Yes.
So I see her when my parents have her. If, you know, Emily, we go to the races, I'll join up and visit with my niece.
And you guys work in the same office.
We do.
Yep.
All right, coming up, Emily says Kim's daughter was missing for 5 hours and the police were called to start a search. How did Kim lose her daughter? Did she lose her daughter? Is this much ado about nothing? We'll talk about that when we come back.
My 8-year-old niece has told me that she has heard sex noises coming from the bedroom and whipping sounds, and that they're so loud and so odd. She's very scared. I am so angry at my sister. How can a mother do this to their child?
I want my sisters to get off my back. They have no idea what they're talking about when it comes to my life and the way I live it. I definitely think that this has become Emily's obsession. She's gone off the deep end. Emily started sending me some hateful texts. I've been a whore, a horrible mom. Some days it's an all-day thing from sunup until sundown. Since June, I have 1,212 texts from Emily. I feel like I am under attack. If it doesn't stop, I'm close to having to do some sort of legal action to keep her away from me and my family.
Okay, Kim says she is sick of her younger sisters butting in to her new, skinny, sexy, and happy life. She says she's happier than she's ever been. Why can't they just be happy for her? But Emily and Lori say they must intervene because Kim's priority has gone from being an attentive parent to being a member of a kinky fetish group that pushes everything else to the side. Take a look.
My 8-year-old niece has definitely changed dramatically in the past year. She went from being a fun, loving, energetic kid to somebody just feeling empty and lost and scared. My niece sleeps out in a living room and has told me that she has heard sex noises coming from the bedroom, and they're so loud and so odd that she has had to put her head into the couch cushion to drown out the noises. And she even told me that she hears whipping sounds and that she's very scared because she doesn't understand fully if her mother's in pain or if she's being hurt.
When I see my niece, I see neglect. Emily and I have called CPS on Kim twice.
The past year, my niece has put on quite a bit of weight. Her teeth are not brushed every day. There have been times where you can definitely tell she had an accident because you could smell the urine on her. Every doctor that my niece has seen says that her having accidents it's behavioral. About 8 months ago, my niece was missing for about 5 hours. When that happened, I kind of thought it was a blessing in disguise once I realized she was safe, because I really thought that would have snapped Kim out of this, but not a thing changed. I am so angry at my sister that I could just scream and yell at her. And there are days where I do want to smack her in the face because of what she's doing to her innocent child. How can a mother do this to their child?
Okay, what's your response?
Oh, honestly, Dr. Phil, all I can do is laugh. They have no idea. My daughter was not missing for 5 hours. She was missing for 3. At the time, we had an arrangement with the little girl that lived up the street, literally, bird's eye view.
You didn't even know her parents.
I did know her parents.
No, you couldn't tell the cop one single friend's name or number. They
Didn't
asked
know where
you
the
if
one
her
where she
friend
was at, where they lived. The deal was
Right,
that I
'cause
would
you
watch
watched
her
your
walk up.
child.
Once she got into the driveway, the other parent would then take them in. If they weren't home, she would walk back down. I watched her walk to the driveway. I went back in the house. I neglected to watch her walk all the way to the door.
Then you would have
that
noticed
friend
that
was
the
not
parents
home.
weren't home.
She proceeded up the street another 2 houses and went to another friend's house. And that's where she was. The mother brought her home 3 hours later.
No, Haley walked home because I was there when she walked home.
She was dropped off.
No,
They
I was
brought
there
her
with
home.
the cop.
When did you discover that you didn't know where she was?
Well, we went to get her. We went to pick her up on our way out of town, and she wasn't at that person's house that she was supposed to be at.
Nobody was home. They were at a football game.
Yeah, they were
so
at a
she
football
never
game.
even
So
made
she never
it to that
came back
house.
home. She went up the street 2 more houses to another friend's house rather than
Don't most
turn around
parents
and
take
come
their
home.
children to the house to make sure it's okay with the parents that they play?
Because we had an agreement with the parents that if they weren't
You didn't
home,
even
they
know their
wouldn't come
name.
out.
And you, when the cop asked you to the address, you're like, I'm not sure. All I know is it's up over there.
No, I knew the first person's. I did not
No,
know where she
you
ended up.
didn't.
Okay, are you, and again, listen, people have sexual preferences. It's whatever. In my view, as long as nobody is hurt, people
Correct.
are willing,
Correct.
Consenting adults, then it's none of my business what somebody does. I don't judge it, good,
Correct.
bad, indifferent. It's none of my business. What I am concerned about is if you know anything about the people that you're dealing with, and if, in fact, your daughter is being exposed to any of this behavior, which, in my opinion, would be hugely inappropriate.
Absolutely. And I would take a lie detector test right here, right now. My daughter has never been exposed in any way, shape, or
And I
form.
would take one
Nothing
that
has
she's being
ever
hit.
been in my home. I don't bring it to my home.
What about the night that I had?
You say no, so this group doesn't meet at your house.
Absolutely
you
not.
go
I've
meet somewhere
been
else.
there.
Correct.
Nobody from the group ever is around your daughter.
Correct.
And your boyfriend's a member of the
Correct,
group.
but nothing is done in our home, ever.
But do you take your daughter to group events?
Absolutely not.
because according to your sisters, you bring your daughter to group stuff if it's on weekdays, and
I don't go anywhere on weekdays. I might meet with my group once a month. That's if I go to the monthly meeting.
How do you know that she goes
That's
to
what I would really love to know.
Because on the website, where she checks in and where the meetings are and stuff like that.
Yeah, you look at
it
where the
says-
meetings are, but that doesn't
and
have
then
any
it says
idea
that
where I'm
she's
going.
And then my parents watch her daughter when she goes, and they tell me where she's
My parents
going.
do have her a lot.
A lot.
No, they don't.
Is Emily out to get you?
Absolutely.
I've called her a bitch. I've called her crazy.
Are you obsessed with her life and what she's doing to the point that it's disrupting your own? You've called CPS 3 times,
Twice.
and you've called CPS twice, so 4 times between you?
Correct.
Okay, I thought it was 5, but I'll go with 4. So you've called CPS 4 times, so they when they get a complaint, they investigate.
They do.
Yes.
They respond. Have they found anything wrong?
Nothing.
I don't know.
She's a pretty good manipulator.
Manipulator and liar.
We've worked together for almost 14 years.
Yes.
And I don't talk about her at work, but if I was to tell the people at work who she is, like outside of work, they wouldn't.
You'd be sorely
that.
surprised if you talk to a lot of people at work.
She's fooled a lot of people. She's.
I can't fool CPS, Dr. Phil. They've been in my home unannounced. They've come for visits without
As you
telling
said,
me.
I don't see my niece very often, and I don't. But when I do see her, especially this last year, she just, to an aunt that she's not particularly close to, like Emily, when I hear her telling me stuff, that makes me go,
What is the most disturbing thing she's told you, straight up?
that she hears her mom having sex. It wasn't through Emily. We were at one of the races, and we were sitting on the grass talking, and she said that she hears mom. And I said, I don't want to question her. I don't get to spend a lot of time with her. And I'm like, oh, okay, what do you hear? And she's like, she just rolls her eyes and just like, whatever. And I'm like, I'm not going to push that.
Are you kind of obsessed about this?
Oh my God, yes.
Am I obsessed about?
Are you obsessed with her life and what she's doing to the point that it's disrupting your own?
It has to.
It has. It has in the past, but not so much anymore. The text messages have been equally the same. I've had to block Kim from my phone number twice, and then she goes onto the computer and gets a new number and will continue to text me from those numbers.
What does she text you?
Really nasty things, that I won't see my niece again. If you piss Kim off in any way, you'll never see her again. I'll take her out of state and we'll move so far away.
I have been that way in the past, but in the last year and a half, I have worked very hard to not use my daughter. And in fact, there is an upcoming trip that my daughter is going on with Emily and her husband. That's been very difficult for me to let her go on because of all this, but I have not once taken that away. When we do come in contact with Lori, we did for a work meeting. I've never pulled my daughter away from going up to her and seeing her.
That's because it was in front of
ever.
all of our coworkers. It was a real
I
good
would
show
never
you
do
put
that.
on.
Are they
Yeah,
out
it
to
was a real
get
good
you?
show.
Is
never do
Emily
that.
out to get you?
Absolutely.
Why? What is her motive?
I don't know. I just want to live my life. I just want to be happy. My daughter and I are more connected than we've ever been. She's a happy, healthy.
Then why did she tell me she doesn't like being touched anymore?
She
Why
wouldn't
did
even
she
hug
say
Minnie Mouse.
verbally to me, to my face, it makes her uncomfortable to be touched.
They think you are addicted to this group, that you spend 5 to 6 hours a day online. How
my
they know
goodness.
that, I don't know. But they say you spend 5 to 6 hours a day online. You're posting up all of these pictures of your body beaten and bruised and in different compromising poses and evidencing involvement in this fetish behavior, that you've posted pictures of bruised private areas, that you've had sex parties at your home while you were living with your husband and your daughter was there.
Nope.
And that you have parties at your current apartment, that there's alcohol involved,
We don't
and that
have
your
any
daughter is there,
alcohol.
and that you take her to group events, and so they're afraid, okay, if you want to go into the fetish world and do whatever you want to do, I really think they don't care about that. Good on you.
Oh, Emily most definitely does.
But I think they're saying if you're involving your daughter, their niece, then they're concerned about it.
My daughter is not exposed to this at all. And alcohol, I can't, you drink more alcohol in a day than I drink in a year. I
A day?
can't.
Oh, man.
She
Wow.
doesn't have a child.
Emily, I do think that you're a little bit more wrapped up in... I don't think you approve of this. You've always kind of had a little,
But-
you know, that's not my style. I don't approve of it, which is fine. But my take on it is who cares what she does behind closed doors? And you know I've always felt that way.
Yes,
'cause I
absolutely.
really don't
She's
care.
always been respectful of my private life. Always.
The reason I got brought into this is because a niece I don't see often, a niece that doesn't know me too well, to me without her around.
Were you calling her a whore and a slut just because she was getting gastric
Absolutely not.
bypass?
I have never
No,
called
she
her
was
a
calling
whore.
me that before my gastric.
Yeah,
bypass.
I have never called.
This was her to you,
Yes.
but it
I have-
wasn't you to her.
That's correct. And I have a text message just last week.
Is that true?
I've
Oh,
never
yeah.
called you.
You know what, Dr. Phil, over the years we've slashed names and everything else. I don't recall that, but I'm not going to say I didn't.
Is this disrupting your marriage?
It has.
Because you're so focused on her?
Not so much that, because of the amount of arguments that we've had via phone and via text. Because, yes, I have sent Kim a lot of texts, but she has sent the exact same amount to me, and they have all been mean and nasty, just like mine. I have called her names before, but the word whore and slut never came. In fact, I just texted you a couple weeks
What do
ago.
you call her?
I've called her a bitch. I've called her crazy. I've called her psychotic. And that it's not the right way to handle it, and I know it.
Yeah, neurotic.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I won't deny that. I probably
All right,
have.
let's take a break. Coming up, Ken's soon-to-be ex-husband says, look, Emily is just vindictive. He's going to tell us why when we come back.
The best thing to come out of my marriage with Kim is definitely my daughter. Kim being involved in this group does not affect her. If I had any fear that my daughter was in danger, I would definitely take control.
I was married at 23, and within the week of getting married, the dynamic of our relationship changed. The physical affection stopped, the communication stopped. I felt very alone inside my marriage. After I was born, I was very excited. I was very affectionate with her. I expected James to not be as much because he wasn't with me. Seeing James be so affectionate with my daughter made me feel even more alone. I found myself very jealous of my daughter. I didn't want to be around when James and her were interacting. I just kind of wanted to disappear. It definitely changed how I felt about our marriage and about James.
Say Your Piece says this tracking of your sister is way overboard. Get your noses out of your sister's life. Future Hope Now says, hashtag feuding sisters, hashtag Dr. Phil. The main focus at this point should be the child involved.
Agreed.
At he2918, do whatever you want to do in your sex life, but keep your child out of it.
Absolutely.
We're talking about Kim, who was married to James for 17 years, and their divorce will be final in just a few weeks. Kim's sisters, Emily and Lori, say they are upset with Kim because ever since she lost weight, she's become an irresponsible mother to her 9-year-old daughter. But it's odd to get support from a soon-to-be ex. But James does disagree. He says not true. Take a look.
Kim and I were together for 17 years. The best thing to come out of my marriage with Kim is definitely my daughter. I feel Emily is blowing things out of proportion as far as the group. Kim being involved in this group does not affect my daughter as far as being hurt or unsafe or anything like that. Kim is a good mom. My daughter is doing very well. She's extremely happy. I feel that she's safe and comfortable in the environment that she's in right now. If I had any fear that she was in danger, I would definitely take control and ask to take her for myself as far as custody. I would definitely go to ends to make sure that she was safe.
Okay, joining us now in the audience is James. James, thanks for being here and talking to us about this. Kim told us that she wanted to do all of these things that she's now doing with this group when she is involved with them in the marriage, but you said that is sick and I want nothing to do with it.
Correct.
True?
Yes.
So you think it's sick, but you're not concerned about her doing this now with your daughter in the picture?
I don't feel that my daughter's involved in this.
You think she
whatsoever.
keeps it separate?
Yes.
Enough.
Yeah.
Why do you think she is obsessed and just way vindictive?
This has been a feuding that's been going on for many years. And I've been sometimes pulled right in the middle of it.
So you've seen it.
I have seen it, yes.
Now, you also heard her say in the tape piece, and she said to us as well, that she had a very odd relationship with her daughter in the beginning, odd feelings. Because she said when she married you, up until the time she married you, you were very attentive and romantic.
Yes.
But the day you got married, it all stopped, it all changed. You withdrew. Then when the baby came, she became very jealous of the child because you heaped love and affection and care and attention on the child.
Yeah.
And so she was jealous of the child for years.
Yes.
True?
Yes.
How did you, do you still feel that way?
No. No, I turned that into being happy for my daughter, that he could have gone the other way because of how he was raised, and that she could have been void of that. And I was very happy that she was able to get that from her dad, because we had a very loving, very affectionate father, and that meant a lot to me. And I'm very, very happy that my daughter was able to get that out of him.
Yeah. Let me tell you both, I tend to look at this from a forensic psychology standpoint, because I did a year's postdoctoral training in forensic psychology after my doctorate in clinical and behavioral medicine. And so there are certain things that you look for with children. And one of the things you look for are symptoms or signs of abuse in some way. And let me tell you what they are. These are things that kind of pop up. You begin to see bowel disorders, such as soilings oneself. You see eating disorders. It can be anorexia, bulimia, or weight gain, substantial weight gain. You see genital or rectal symptoms such as pain during a bowel movement or something of that nature, urination or vaginal itch or discharge, repeated headaches, sleep problems, stomach aches, vague complaints. You begin to see some of these things. And then behaviorally, you begin to see they display disruptive behaviors, such as if they're old enough, using alcohol or street drugs, or engaging in high-risk sexual behaviors. They might start doing poorly in school. They have excessive fears. They withdraw from normal activities. So you see those sorts of things.
And I can tell you, Dr. Phil, my daughter did experience and has shown a lot of those behaviors. She was very, very much withdrawing. She was very much because of the dysfunction that was in our home. The constant fighting between James and I, the constant yelling and screaming, the constant slamming of doors. This is why we decided to get out sooner than we had hoped. It was definitely tearing her apart.
Yeah. Does that concern you?
Yes.
Because as we click some of these off, we go through eating disorders and either encopresis or enuresis. You see these problems, sleep problems, stomach aches, disruptive behavior, withdrawal, things of that nature. I got to tell you, if I'm just rolling up on the scene and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 adults confirming for me that I'm going to have to check a lot of these things off, then that's red flag warning for me. You have a new boyfriend. Has she slept in the bed with this new boyfriend?
Absolutely, unequivocally not.
What do you know about it? I got to tell you, if I'm just rolling up on the scene and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 adults confirming for me that I'm going to have to check a lot of these things off, then that's red flag warning for me. I start saying somebody needs to start explaining what's going on here.
There was a lot of those that she was. If you would evaluate her now or have her evaluated now, almost all of them are gone. She is not having headaches. She has not had a single accident. And by the way, the accidents have never stopped since she's been an infant. We've been struggling with urinating accidents since she was born. She's not had an accident in over 3 weeks. Most of those are starting to go away since I have taken her out of the home that we shared and all that was going on within that home, and all the anxiety that I was constantly under, all the anxiety that he was constantly under. just all the stress and fighting.
'Cause you understand, just as a stranger rolling up on the situation that is trained to look for certain things,
Yes.
these would be bells that would ring for me. Then I would see that maybe we're dealing with someone that has sexualized interest. I mean, your hobby's not pottery.
Right.
So,
But these were all going on long before my group. The
okay,
whole reason
but
I
you
had-
understand my concern.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
and then
I have not hidden any of these signs from anybody. I've had discussions with her teacher. I'm the one that brought most of these behaviors to a professional for help.
so none of this behavior that you say vindictive, obsessive sister Emily, who says, yeah, I'm kind of obsessive about it, none of this behavior was going on while you were there?
No, absolutely
Wasn't
not.
Stacy staying there when you guys were
And you had to
still
s-
married and
And you had to sleep.
you had to
James,
sleep out in the car because
Tell
Kim
the
kicked
truth.
you out one night?
Now's
No.
your chance.
Not true.
She can't hurt
I
you
never
here.
put him out in the car. James was sleeping on the couch
I went
for
to a
2
hotel.
years.
He went to a hotel.
You went to a hotel when
He
what?
did. He did once.
When her boyfriend was
When
over
her
sleeping
boyfriend-
in his bed, which was words from you. You said you came home from work and they were sleeping in your bed. My niece was on the couch.
Her niece was on the couch and had been on the couch for the last week because my daughter has been in my bed since she's been born. We've
Yes.
never gotten her out of that.
You have a new boyfriend. Has she slept in the bed with this new
Absolutely,
boyfriend?
unequivocally not. Prior to me even meeting him, I had stepped her out onto the couch as step one in getting her into her own room. She'd already been on the couch for almost 2 months, or excuse me, 2 weeks
You didn't have
prior
a
to me
choice.
even
Why-
knowing
This child's
Stacey.
9. Why is she not sleeping in her own bed?
She never has. I had her, she was very sick when she was an infant, brought her back in. She was on a heart monitor. I felt better with her being in the room. I started working nights. He brought her back in. It was
See,
just
there's
easier to
another.
deal with.
This is another warning sign because here's what we know about non-biological males
Absolutely.
being in the home: the chance of being abused, the child being abused, is 20 times normal.
Yep.
Not twice as likely, not 3 times as likely, not 10 times as likely, 20 times normal, Dad. And we have a non-biological male in the home. And you met him at group or not at group?
Not at group. I met him not anything to do with
Where'd you
group.
meet him?
I met him through a friend of mine.
What do you know about him?
I know a lot about him. I've done a lot of research about him
So what do you know about him?
in terms of where
Who
he
he
comes
is,
from.
what his background is.
I know where he used to live. I know where he grew up. I've met most of his family. Anything that you would generally talk about in getting to know somebody, in dating somebody. I know a ton of his background.
If you guys ever watch this show, you know that I make a big deal about knowing who we expose our children to,
Yes, sir.
who we turn our children over to. What do we know about our teachers? What do we know about Sunday school teachers and coaches and bus drivers and neighbors and people that have access to our children? What do we know about them?
Yes, sir.
You said you spent hundreds of hours, you've learned all kinds of things about him. You're going to find out who this man that's in this home is. But we are far from finished with this sister intervention. Is their niece safe? You just heard that Kim has a new boyfriend. Her sisters are already upset about some of the things that have been going on in the house with their niece at home. But when I reveal what's in this binder, their concerns are going to rise to a whole new level. You don't want to miss this tomorrow. Thanks for being here. So long.
Shut up! Shut up!
Her daughter is 13.
Do you hate your mother?
Yes.
Do I ever want to go home? No, Mom, you're not home.
And out of control.
She grabbed the knife and was threatening to kill me.
I do not remember that.
And you don't remember banging her head against the sliding glass door?
I didn't touch her.
One of you's lying. What would you do if you had a 13-year-old daughter and she punched her brother in the face? What if she grabbed you by your mouth and chin and slammed your head into the refrigerator? What if she pulled a knife? Well, today we're going to meet this teen terror and her mom, who says she has completely lost control of her daughter. And she just says, frankly, she said, I'm out of options.
Listen to me, you idiot! Shut up! Shut up! Do I ever want to go home? No, Mom! You're not home! Do you not see the Do you not see the you put me through? Stop being stupid!
Monica says she's so fed up that she would surrender Micaiah to child services. She says, I'd just give her up if I thought it would help.
Listen to
drugs
me,
at
you
my
idiot!
house.
Shut up! Shut up!
My 13-year-old daughter, Micaiah, is out of control. She is very hateful to me.
I do not like you.
I can feel that. I
You
know you don't.
understand that.
Micaiah tells me that she hates me, that I'm stupid. She calls me a
When I'm pissed off and in my room punching the out of my wall, you should not come in there.
Micaiah has been arrested twice for third-degree assault for assaulting me. The first time Micaiah was arrested, she bit me on the inside of my bicep. Over the last several years, the police have been called to our home about 17 times. Micaiah is a master at manipulating people. I've seen her manipulate the police, doctors, teachers. She was suspended the first part of her 7th grade year. She was caught with tobacco. She's punched a hole in her wall. The hole didn't start out this big, it was 1 fist size. But over the last several weeks, it has gotten increasingly bigger and bigger. She has been taken to the emergency room numerous times. She's been in juvenile detention center twice. She spent 30 days in an inpatient residential care, and she was placed in a foster home for 4 months. The last year, Micaiah has run away from home 6 to 7 times. Micaiah has total control over me and my family. When she is gone, it's more peaceful.
You piss me off. You piss me off so much that I can't even be in the same house as you.
I fear the choices that Micaiah is doing right now will destroy her life and that she may end up dead.
Well, Monica's ex-husband, Cliff, the bio father of this child, is listening to the show by phone because there's an order of protection in place. We won't hear from Cliff until later when I can speak to him privately. But first, I want to talk to Micaiah's mother, Monica. Now, Monica, I'm going to ask you some questions that I think only a mother can give me insight to. See, I think everybody has a way of being in the world. Why is your daughter choosing this way?
Well, part of the reason I'm here is to find that out because I don't know why she's choosing to be this way. But I think it works for her to some extent. She doesn't feel like I love her. She honestly feels like I don't love her. She feels like I favor my other 3 children over her.
Do you?
I do not.
How do you react to her when she gets upset?
I try not to show any kind of reaction to her that she's causing me, that she's causing me to get angry, to get upset, or anything like that. I just try and remain kind of level.
I just heard a key word there. You said, I try. If you have ownership in why this girl is doing what she's doing, why she is running so hard, why she is so angry, you need to own it and tell me what it is, because you don't want to waste your time with me digging out of you what you already know to be true. What are you doing to screw this up? Well, let me tell you what she says you're doing to screw it up.
Okay.
She says you're two-faced, and she absolutely hates you. She says that you've told her you're acting just like your dad. True or false?
That is true.
Now, I asked you just a few minutes ago, what is it you're doing that's contributing to her maladaptive behavior, her lack of adjustment into this family and into this life? You said, I've got no idea. Well, you've said I would turn her over to Child Protective Services if I could. If I thought it'd help, yeah, take her. Go with her. That's not what a kid wants to hear. You act just like your dad, who, by the way, you're divorced from. So that's not a ringing endorsement. She says you yell that it's always her fault. She says that you hit and slap her in the face. True or false?
False.
Never hit her.
No.
Okay. She says that you put her on meds that don't fit, that you've thrown a chair and that you've choked her.
Not true.
Tells her every day, not occasionally, but every day, I wish I had never had you.
Never said that. Those words have never come out of my mouth.
She said during big fights, you say, I so wish I had had an abortion.
Never said that.
All right, Monica says last year her daughter was handcuffed and charged with third-degree assault after Micaiah threatened her life. Take a look at this.
Micaiah's aggression towards me has gotten so bad that she threatened to kill me with a bread knife. She had got suspended from school for having tobacco in her backpack and had tried to blame her sister and her brother for it being theirs. She was mad that her brother had said no, it wasn't his, and so she kicked him in the groin, and I got between the two of them to break the fight up. She pulled out this knife and held it up to me, and she told me she was going to kill me. She grabbed me and she was holding the knife and she was going to kill me, bitch, is what she said to me. My 11-year-old son then had to call 911.
911, what's the emergency?
She's grabbing a knife and she's trying to hurt my mom.
Is that Michaela doing all the screaming?
She was arrested for third-degree assault once again.
Monica says her 13-year-old daughter, Micaiah, is so out of control she needed help to get her to the show. We sent a team of professional transporters to Monica's home to help bring her here. Were they successful? Well, let's take a look.
Monica?
Yes.
And then Victor Lopez. Nice to meet you. This is my partner,
Lonnie Vasquez.
Hi, Lonnie.
Hi, how are you?
Come on in. I can't control her. She's running away. Verbally abusive, physically abusive.
We're here to take you from point A to point B safely.
Hi, Micaiah. How are you?
Good.
Did you get my message?
Yeah?
You know, Connie really wants you to babysit, so.
When?
Tonight, like about 6 o'clock.
All right.
I've got butterflies in my stomach. I'm really nervous about it. My brother Ryan and sister-in-law are going to pick her up and bring her here.
So when they pull up, we'll be in Suburban. Once they pull up, we will pull up right behind them.
I don't know what she's going to do. I don't know whether she'll be kicking and screaming and swearing.
Basically, we expect the worst.
All right, she already gave us a 3-minute signal. Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Get out.
Next, did she put up a fight? Did she take off running? Did she make it to the show? Or is it going to be just me and Mom trying to solve their problems? Find out when we come back.
Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
The text messages that Micaiah has sent me have been horrible. She's told me to that I'm crazy, that I don't love her. It's very, very hurtful.
Well, Monica says her daughter Micaiah ran away from home 2 weeks ago, so she was worried about getting her to the show by herself. So we sent professional transporters to help Monica get her daughter here safely. Didn't want any drama, wanted everything safe. Take a look.
Get out.
Hi, Micaiah. I wanted to introduce you to some people that are going to help you.
Oh,
this
okay.
is Victor, and this is Lonnie.
I'm gonna have to ask you for your cell phone.
Why?
And we'll explain everything once you get in the vehicle.
We can do this the easy way. We can do this the hard way.
Yeah. Thank you.
Where are you taking me?
I'll let you know once you get in the car.
You try to run, we're gonna have to chase you down. And then he has handcuffs.
I'm not gonna run. Where would I go? I have no place to go. I'm just pretty pissed off.
You know what? I don't blame you. What was the first thing like you realized, man, I did not like my mom? What happened?
When she took us away from our dad, then she took me into a mental hospital, put me on like a lot of drugs.
As I'm seeing them drive off, I'm worried, I'm scared. I am starting to feel a little bit, I don't know if relief is the right word. It's been a really emotional day.
Well, she's made it. Transporters Victor and Lonnie have been with her every step of the way, ensuring her safety and well-being. So, Micaiah, come on out. Okay. Your mother is saying that the things that you're saying that she has said to you, done to you, the ways in which she engaged you are just simply not true. So one of you's lying.
The truth is that she has said this to me. Every single day I hear it, that she wished she never had me. When we get into big fights, she tells me that she wished she would have had an abortion.
So your mother's lying to me.
Correct.
Why would she do that?
Because, like I told you when I was on the phone, she is two-faced. She only acts, appropriate around me when there is authority around.
So if somebody's around that could impact her life or judge her in some way or create havoc for her, then she puts on a goody two-shoes face and behaves differently.
Correct.
And how about the things that we were describing with regard to you about pulling a knife and threatening to hurt people and saying hurtful things? What about that?
Well, she told me that I pulled a knife on her. I do not recall the knife on her.
What do you mean you don't remember?
I don't remember. I remember because we were in the kitchen, she threw the chair on my legs, and then I was walking across the room to my back door to leave the house, which is when she tackled me on the floor, which is when her hand was around my neck, and then my younger brother was kicking my head, and I passed out. I just remember waking up and the cops were there and I was in handcuffs.
Why was your younger brother kicking your head?
Because I was biting my mom's arm because I couldn't breathe.
And why couldn't you breathe?
Because my mom's arm was around my neck.
She was choking you?
Correct.
Did that happen?
There were parts of it that I would agree with.
Were you on the floor with your daughter with your arm around her neck?
I was on the floor with my daughter holding her arms and legs so that she wouldn't hurt me, herself, or anybody else.
Okay, what happened that triggered this where you had to do a takedown and restrain her?
She had grabbed the knife and was threatening to kill me.
But you don't remember pulling the knife?
Correct, I do not remember that.
And you don't remember banging her head against the sliding glass door?
I didn't touch her, she touched me.
Despite the fact that Micaiah said she never wanted to speak to her mom again, she had a lot to say once they arrived in Los Angeles. Take a look.
Why is it come to this point that you have to take me out of my house to drive me all the way to LA?
I've tried everything else that I know to do
By
to
taking
try
me
and
to
help you.
mental hospitals and put me on medication. I was working hard to get to a place where I could be stable and not want to kill myself every single night.
I understand that.
No, you don't understand that, Mom. No, Mom, listen to me. Listen to me. Do you ever go to your room at night and cry and cut?
No.
Do you? No.
No.
No. Did your mom tell you that she hates you? Do you have a giant hole in your wall because you get so pissed off that you don't know what to do? No. Then you have never been through what I went through. Therefore, you will never understand what I'm going through. Therefore, you will never understand me.
That's why I'm trying to
you know
find
nothing
that
about
out.
me. You know my best friend. No. Do you know anything about me? No.
But
I do
I
not
can
want to talk to you
understand
because I do not like you.
I can feel that.
Do you
I know you
understand
don't.
that?
I don't understand that, and I'm trying to understand
because you
that.
will never understand that. Do you think that I really need medication?
I don't know. I'm thinking that medication.
So shut up. I do not like you. I hate you, Mom.
I've heard
Get
you say that.
through your head.
And where you've been staying with Emily, that's a better situation?
Obviously. Have I left? No. You're just pissed off because she can still be a better mother to me than you can ever be. Do I ever want to go home? No, Mom. You're not home. Emily is my home. Emily, not you.
Do you hate your mother?
Yes.
Why?
Because of everything that she has put me through. I have been through hospitals, therapists that have not helped me, medication that have left me in my bathroom wanting to kill myself.
Have you attempted to kill yourself?
Yes.
5 times?
More than that.
You've been hospitalized for it 5 times.
Correct.
You understand that your behavior means that somebody has to do something to protect you from yourself.
But the thing was, my behavior wasn't like that until I went to the hospitals. Until the first time I went to the hospital, I came out, I was not the same.
Why did you wind up in the hospital?
because my mom took me there because she didn't want me around the house.
So she just thought, you know, it's just too crowded here, I'm going to take her to the hospital.
Pretty much.
Now, you don't believe that.
I do, honestly.
You have no ownership in it whatsoever.
Correct.
Okay, Micaiah says her mom ruined her life by keeping her away from her father. We're going to find out what he has to say about all this when we come back.
Can I go and live with my dad? I want to know why I cannot go and live with my dad. She took me away from my dad. He's always been there for me when my mom hasn't.
Here's a picture of our family when Micaiah was only 3. And at some point, Micaiah has cut me out of the picture. She's angry at me and she doesn't want me in there. It's really, really sad.
Monica says her 13-year-old daughter, Micaiah, has assaulted her twice, pulled a knife on her, shoved her, bitten her, bullied her siblings, and now wants nothing to do with her. Monica says Micaiah's bad behavior spiraled out of control when her marriage went south.
My ex-husband and I separated 5 years ago. I think that has had an impact on Micaiah's behavior.
Can I go and live with my dad? I want to know why I cannot go and live with my dad.
Because your dad hasn't done the necessary things. Micaiah was close with her dad prior to the separation. Micaiah was definitely her dad's favorite child, and they spent a lot of time together, just the two of them.
She took me away from my dad. My dad was like the biggest role model in my life. He's always pushed me to do my best. He's always been there for me when my mom hasn't.
You say all of this really upsets you. What's she saying now about all this? Why?
Well, there's a lot of reasons why. Number one, her dad has not been involved in her life since really 2009. And in 2011, he could only have supervised visits with the kids. And then in 2012, that changed to therapeutic supervised visits with the children. He's been kicked out of 3 different institutions that oversee these supervised visits. Furthermore, when he had those when he did have visits set up, there were many, many times where the other 3 kids would go and Micaiah didn't want to go because she didn't want to see her dad.
I refused to see my dad for was it about a year? Mm-hmm. But that was because the therapist that my mom was making me see at the time, she told me not to.
Okay, so why is he under a protective order where I can't even talk to him with you two here?
There's a protection order in place with me because of domestic violence.
So what do you want?
What do I want? I want to be happy. I want this to be resolved. I do not want to go home with my mom.
And where would you live over the next couple of years?
For now, I want to live with Emily, which is who I've been staying with.
And who is that?
My best friend's mom.
Have you done anything maladaptive there?
No.
You don't steal, fight, tear stuff up?
Do drugs?
Run away, do drugs?
I don't do drugs in her house, no. She does not know that I do drugs.
Well, she does now.
Does she know you drink?
What?
Does she know you drink?
No, that's a drug.
All right, I'm going to excuse Monica and her daughter now so I can talk to the father in this, Monica's ex-husband, Cliff. There's a protection order in place. The 3 cannot be in any kind of contact, even through me or on the phone or whatever, regarding Cliff and his ex-wife. I'm going to talk to him when we come back, and then we'll come up with a plan here. We'll be right back.
Than living with you, Mom. You make me miserable. You piss me off. You piss me off so much that I can't even be in the same house as you.
What would make a 13-year-old hate her mother so much that she refuses to live with her? Well, people have different points of view and opinions. I'm going to ask her father, Cliff, that very question. What do you have to add to the understanding here about what I might be able to use to help your daughter?
So, in my opinion, Monica plays the victim very well. Yes, is there a restraining order? Absolutely. Now, do you know the circumstances behind that? I don't think you do, and Monica probably won't tell you this, but she tried to break down my door to my apartment, and I called the cops. They came out. They were going to arrest her, and I didn't want that when we were separated, and I called her over and over and over and over, and I got charged with phone harassment, which is under domestic violence. We had joint custody of the kids, and she was talking to the kids about stuff, and I defended myself and got them involved in adult issues, told them that their mom was a liar, and I got in trouble for that, and I paid, and we started doing supervised visits. The judge ordered supervised visits, and she said, if the kids are asking to do supervised visits outside, do stuff outside of the supervised visits, and both parties agree to go ahead and do it. Well, the kids were asking, McKay in specific was asking to do things outside of those supervised visits. She wanted to go to lunch, she wanted to go fishing, she wanted to go camping. And each week I sent emails to Monica saying, hey, McKay is asking to do this. And the judge says it's okay if we both agree. And she wouldn't agree. After that fourth week is when McKay started throwing fits and doing this. And so the supervised visits changed when Monica got a therapist to write a letter that said that McKay and Bo needed therapeutic visits. Well, mysteriously, that therapist was no longer used after that order was changed to therapeutic visits. So every time we made progress, something happened, a letter from a therapist, or Monica would contact the therapist and say, hey, Cliff was telling the kids that underage drinking's okay. We need to stop these visits. And they would believe her.
Can I jump in here a second?
Absolutely.
Is there anything that you can share with me that would help me help your daughter find some peace?
You know, if Monica isn't helped, McKay won't get helped. If I'm not helped, McKay won't get helped.
Okay, let me rephrase the question. Is there anything you can tell me that would help me help your daughter find some peace? I'm really not here to try to improve your relationship with Monica. I don't think you want to reconcile with her or she with you. What I'm interested in is if there's anything you can share with me that I can use to help your daughter find some peace in her life.
Yeah, if she has a father, she's been begging for a father, and if outside influences can stop sabotaging the progress with that, that's what can help.
What is your opinion of why Makaya is so violently angry?
My opinion is she feels that Monica is keeping her from her father. She has said it many times that she wants to be with me, and Monica does anything and everything to prevent it.
Okay, so you think if she was with you that the anger would resolve?
I'm thinking that if she could spend time with me, not necessarily be with me full time, I don't want to take her from her mom. I want to enhance her life and get that anger out of her. And if she can spend time with her father, she can have both parents in her life, which she needs both parents.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be very difficult to co-parent with you and Monica having so much anger and angst that is obviously very raw between the two of you.
She's never been willing to co-parent, even when the anger wasn't there. She's always been controlling and manipulating and wants to make all the decisions. She was always that way.
All right, gotcha. All right, Cliff, I'm going to have to say goodbye for now. You'll be able to continue listening as we wrap things up here. Next, is there any way for McKay and Monica to call a truce? I'm going to bring them back out. I'm going to tell them what I think needs to happen here after the break.
I have 3 other children. Micaiah's behavior is very difficult with the other kids. They wished Micaiah would go live someplace else. My daughter, Kylie's very mad at Micaiah for what she's doing.
She's hurtful to my brothers. She just wants to feel like everything revolves around her. I'm really mad at her.
It's very scary for all of the kids.
Okay, well, there's another sister involved here, and that's Kylie, right?
Yes.
Your sister. Kylie, what's the truth here? And I hate to put you on the spot, but all I'm trying to do is help this family, and I can't do it if I don't know the truth.
My mom's a very loving mom, and she's trying to help Micaiah. She's trying as hard as she can. She just wants the best for her, and she doesn't know why she feels angry. And when she's punching walls and is refusing to get my mom's help, she doesn't know what to do.
How do you get along with your sister?
We get along most of the time, but as soon as something makes her angry or upset, then she just goes off, and then we lose that connection.
Have you heard your mother say to her numerous times, I'm sorry I ever had you, I wish I'd gotten an abortion, any of that?
No, I've never heard her say that.
This is not a Micaiah problem. It's not like you're the bad seed here, you're the bad kid, you're the one that's the screw up, and if we could just get you fixed, this family would be fine.
Why are you shaking your head?
Because it's not just your problem.
Then why do I feel like that? When I'm over here getting therapy, nobody else is doing therapy, it's all just me. You're all just playing the game. I'm actually over here working. Tanya, I was working with everybody, Mom. I was working so hard to get to a place where I could control my anger and let it out in a positive way. That's why I was punching my walls instead of cutting and instead of taking it out on you. So if you had a choice, me cutting myself or me punching holes in my wall, which would you pick?
The holes in the wall, I guess?
Exactly.
You're not the first angry young girl that I have talked to. I get that you're really upset right now. And frankly, I don't look at you and ask myself why you're upset, angry, cutting, knocking holes in walls, running away, medicating yourself with drugs or alcohol. I really ask myself, why not? The behavior really went off the rails about the time you and your husband started having a lot of trouble and you wound up getting a separation and a divorce. You know, for every action in this world, there's a reaction. And I think when that family started falling apart and everybody started choosing up sides and everything got hostile, you kind of got marginalized. You kind of got pushed over to the side here. You said, well, okay, so I'll make my own way. But it's not you, it's this whole family. I totally get that. Are you willing to go home, stop doing alcohol, stop smoking dope, and live harmoniously with your mother in your home?
No.
I think if I'm over here looking at you from her point of view, I don't see a soft place to fall at all.
Right.
You've withdrawn emotion here to a degree, have you not?
Yeah, it's the learned behavior, and I have, absolutely.
You're going to have to get over this hostility with your husband. I don't know, you know, I've got some information about why y'all got a divorce. It's still very raw. You take great pleasure in dogging on him, and he takes great pleasure in dogging on you, in my opinion. I asked him, you know, what can I do to help your daughter? What can you tell me that would help me help your daughter? And he spent 75% of the time telling me what a saboteur you are. You two need to get this resolved, and I'm willing to get you some help with that, very specialized help with that, and I'm willing to offer you some very specialized help as well. But there is no point in her doing the things she needs to do if this family doesn't do what it needs to do, because you can take her off and get her happy in a vacuum over here, off by herself, and she comes back into this toxic environment. It's going to be the same way it was before she left. There is no point in helping her if you people don't change your game. No point in it. No point in it. She didn't choose any of this. The adults in this situation chose that, and she got caught in the crossfire. So, what do you think about what I'm saying?
I think that's 100% correct. Thank you.
I don't want you to go home. This is Matt Polachek right here. Matt, raise your hand. This is Matt Polachek here. He's from a place out here in California called the Center for Discovery. It's down in Whittier. And I want to introduce you guys to Matt and let you talk backstage. But going home with her, to me, is not an option. Fair enough? All right. These days, it seems like so many young girls are struggling like Micaiah. Well, there are other options. Next, I have a big announcement about my wife, Robin, and how she's helping girls all over America become confident, empowered, and strong young women. We'll be right back. With my wife, Robin, who has been working incredibly hard on her foundation, When Georgia Smiled, the Robin McGraw Revelation Foundation.
It's been such an incredible year since launching the foundation, and we have been so busy. We're helping shelters, providing legal services to women and children, and doing all we can to improve the lives of those affected by domestic violence so they can live safe, healthy, and joy-filled lives. And that's just the beginning.
Well, it's just the beginning because I have some big news. But first, we're going to invite someone very special to join us. Please welcome the CEO of Girl Scouts of the USA, Ana Maria Chavez. How are you? Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Good to see you. Now, the reason I've asked Ana to join us is because she is involved with some big plans with Robin's Foundation.
I love this woman and everything Girl Scouts stand for. They help build girls of courage, confidence, and character, and who wouldn't want all of those qualities?
And today I get to play the role of proud husband because I've been given the honor of sharing some huge news. Are you ready? Okay. I am thrilled to announce that my wife, Robin McGraw, has just been named the celebrity spokeswoman for Girl Scouts of the USA. Now, this is so in her wheelhouse because Girl Scouts have been instrumental in shaping girls into success stories. Almost every female astronaut was a Girl Scout.
Some of the biggest celebrities were Girl Scouts, too. For example, Dakota Fanning, I love her, Taylor Swift, Gwyneth Paltrow, Venus Williams, and Michelle Obama.
How about that?
And now we have Robin!
We are so excited to have her support and the support of her amazing foundation, When Georgia Smiled, because they've promised to help us with our major campaign called To Get Her There. It is the largest fundraising campaign for girls' leadership in the history of the United States. So thank you for your support.
Thank you so much. Well, I cannot tell you how much this means to me. I was actually a Girl Scout growing up my entire life, and I have to tell you, I was a brownie leader before we ever even had children. Of course, we never had a daughter, but...
Seriously, we're married for like months, and I come home and she says, I got a brownie troop.
I did.
We don't have a daughter.
I know. I called the Girl Scout Council when we were first married. I said, yes, I'd like to volunteer. I want to volunteer to be a brownie leader. And they said, great, great. What school does your daughter go to? I said, well, I actually don't have a daughter. I have no children, newlywed, but I still want to volunteer. And they said, wow, this is a first. But I got myself a brownie troop, and it was so much fun. They were just adorable, adorable. I made one mistake. I read the newsletter out loud to them before I really scanned it. And I said, oh, girls, we're going to have a camp out, citywide camp out. They got all excited. And then I went, oh, whoa, wait a minute. We're not eligible. First-year brownies. Of course, they're all crying. They all start crying. I'm like, oh, what have I done? We'll have a camp out in my backyard. And we did.
And they loved it, I'm sure.
Well, Robin, we have a little surprise for you. We received some video messages from your biggest Girl Scout fans. Here's what they had to say.
Hi, Robin. Robin. Some people think Girl Scouts are the younger girls, but I'm a junior in high school and I'm still a Girl Scout. I love how you support young women to become strong, healthy, and help others.
Hi Robin, I am 13 and love how you care about how Girl Scouts believe we can be and do anything by standing up for ourselves and having strong values. The issues of violence and abuse are very close to my heart. It is encouraging to me when persons such as Robin create programs that can help prevent abuse. She is an inspiration to me and to so many others.
I was watching when Robin said, "If you allow other people to erode your good opinion of yourself, you're giving them power over you." It helped me to believe in myself. The only opinion that matters is yours.
Thank you both so much. Alyssa and Gabrielle, that was so sweet of you both to say that.
Well, the Girl Scouts of the USA is collaborating with When Georgia Smiled, which is an amazing foundation, and they're going to help us enable girls across the country to reach their potential. You know, Girl Scouts has been around for 102 years. We've provided after-school programming for girls to allow them to become the leaders they want to be in their lives. And so for us, it's about creating new memories with them. It's about enlightening them and educating them so they can place a major focus on not only on their lives, but how they can change lives in their local communities.
To help transform as many girls' lives as possible, my foundation, When Georgia Smiled, is joining forces with Girl Scouts of USA to get her their fundraising campaign to do just that. We all must be diligent and passionate in our support for girls, and it begins today.
All right, we'll tell you how you can help girls across the country when we come back. Well, I am here with my wife, Robin, and CEO Ana Maria Chavez. We've just announced that Robin is the celebrity spokesperson for Girl Scouts of the USA.
We have over 3 million girl and adult members in every U.S. zip code, and we're in over 90 countries in the world. But we also have 30,000 girls on wait lists nationwide who want to join, but cannot because we have a shortage of volunteers.
I mentioned earlier that we need your help to ensure that every girl in every zip code has an opportunity to become a Girl Scout. Go to girlscouts.org/join for more information.
If you want to support Girl Scouts, you can also go to Robin's website, whengeorgiasmiled.org. All contributions will go directly to the Girl Scouts of the USA to invest in girls so they can change the world.
Of course, the Girl Scouts didn't come empty-handed. I mean, who doesn't love their cookies? I know I do. My favorite is, of course, the Thin Mints. I have a box of for everyone in the audience.